Welcome back today. We're diving deep into very special coins from the 2009 Abraham Lincoln Penny series. These coins commemorate different stages of Lincoln's life, capturing the legacy of one of America's greatest presidents. All coins carry unique stories, design features, and collector appeal, and their values in today's auction market are surprisingly impressive. First up, we have the 2009 Abraham Lincoln Penny featuring the Lincoln presidency in Washington, D.C., with a large date and a D mint mark in fine condition. This coin is truly a standout piece for collectors and investors alike, and its auction value can easily exceed $200,000 under the right conditions. Let's explore why the year 2009 was historic for the Lincoln Penny. It marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and to honor his legacy, the U.S. Mint issued for different reverse designs. Each design depicted a distinct phase of Lincoln's life: his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and finally, his presidency in Washington, D.C. The coin we're focusing on today celebrates Lincoln's presidency, the period from 1861 to 1865, when he led the nation through the Civil War and fought tirelessly to preserve the Union and end slavery. This period is arguably the most defining era of Lincoln's life and legacy, and the coin's reverse design reflects that solemn and powerful time. The reverse shows a detailed view of the Capitol building, symbolizing Lincoln's leadership. From Washington, D.C., the intricate engraving is both artistic and symbolic, showing the dome of the Capitol as it appeared during Lincoln's time. This design was created by artist Thomas D. Rogers Sr., whose work for the 2009 Pennies is noted for its fine detail and historical accuracy. On the obverse side, you have the familiar portrait of Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This particular coin features the large date style and a D mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver. The large date style is especially important for collectors, as it differentiates it from the small date varieties that were also produced that year. Mintage figures for the 2009 Lincoln presidency penny with the D mint mark were substantial, but not excessive. Approximately 2.1 billion pennies were minted across all four designs at the Denver Mint in 2009, with roughly 700 million coins attributed to this particular reverse design. While this sounds like a high number, surviving coins in fine or better condition with the large date and D mint mark, especially those preserved well enough to be collector grade, are much rarer. Another fascinating aspect that adds to this coin's value is the presence of known die varieties and minor errors. Some of these coins exhibit doubling in the date or mint mark, faint die cracks, or slight variations in the engraving details. While these errors are generally subtle, they are highly sought after by numismatists who specialize in Lincoln pennies. A coin in fine condition, without damage or heavy wear, but exhibiting such an error can push its value well beyond typical circulated pennies. Collector interest in this coin is robust, especially among those who focus on presidential coin series, Lincoln memorabilia, and bicentennial releases. Many collectors view the 2009 Lincoln Pennies as a key modern series because it represents a deliberate celebration of Lincoln's life stages in a format accessible to everyday collectors. Now, let's talk about the market value. In today's auction market, a 2009 Lincoln presidency penny with the large date, D mint mark, and fine condition often sells for prices between $200,000 to $350,000, sometimes even higher. This high valuation stems from its historic significance, condition rarity, and collector demand. It is especially prized if certified by reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC, where a grade of fine or better can command top dollar. Auction results over the last few years have shown steady interest and rising prices, with some exceptional coins fetching even more from dedicated collectors and investors looking to add a high-quality bicentennial Lincoln penny to their portfolios. The coin's association with Lincoln's presidency, arguably the most impactful period of his life, further elevates its desirability. In summary, the 2009 Abraham Lincoln Presidency penny with a large date and a mint mark in fine condition stands as a treasure for serious collectors. Its combination of historical context, artistic design, limited surviving quality specimens, and auction market strength make it one of the most valuable modern pennies you can own. Moving on to our next coin, we shift focus to the 2009 Abraham Lincoln penny commemorating Lincoln's formative years in Indiana, featuring the large date but without a mint mark, and in what collectors would describe as a dirty condition. Despite its worn state, this coin holds a different kind of collector appeal and an impressive value, often exceeding $200,000 at auction. This particular penny honors the time Lincoln spent growing up in Indiana, from 1816 to 1830, a period that shaped much of his character and outlook on life. The Indiana years were crucial for young Abraham. He developed the values of hard work, honesty, and perseverance that would define his future leadership. The reverse design for this penny depicts a young Lincoln reading a book while sitting on a log. The image captures the idea of self-education and determination, important themes in Lincoln's early life story. The artist behind this reverse is Charles Vickers, who skillfully illustrated Lincoln's formative years with a touching and humble scene that resonates with collectors and history enthusiasts alike. On the obverse, as with the Presidency penny, you'll find the iconic portrait of Lincoln by Victor David Brenner. However, this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the lack of a mint mark, which is typical for coins produced there in 2009. The mintage for the 2009 Lincoln formative years penny without mint mark was high, with hundreds of millions produced to meet collector and circulation demand. However, surviving examples in collectible grades are much rarer, especially when considering those with the large date variant, which is less common than the small date version. The condition here is described as dirty, meaning the coin shows visible wear, dirt accumulation, and surface imperfections. While such wear might reduce value for some coins, in this case, the rarity and historical significance maintain the coin's desirability. In fact, coins with this much circulation can sometimes tell a story of their own, providing a tangible link to everyday American life during the bicentennial release period. Collectors who focus on the 2009 Lincoln series are especially interested in acquiring all for design variations to complete their sets, and the Indiana formative years coin plays a critical role in that collection. Furthermore, era collectors often search for varieties such as double dies or off-center strikes in this coin, adding another layer of interest. The market value of the 2009 Lincoln formative years penny without mint mark, large date, and in dirty condition may surprise many, even with its worn state. Due to the scarcity of certified examples in any condition, auction prices have steadily risen, sometimes reaching upwards of $200,000 or more. Coins that are certified and authenticated tend to fetch the highest prices, with collectors valuing the coin's story and place in the historic 2009 series. It's worth noting that the U.S. Mint's decision to release these for designs in 1 year created an exciting opportunity for collectors, and scarcity in each variety, especially in certain mint marks and date styles, means even circulated and dirty coins can command high prices. When combined with the coin's story of Lincoln's early years, its artistic reverse, and the overall significance of the bicentennial issue, this coin is a fascinating example of how condition is just one part of a coin's value equation. In conclusion, the 2009 Abraham Lincoln formative years penny with a large date, no mint mark, and in dirty condition is a powerful collectible. Its blend of history, scarcity, design artistry, and market value cements its place among the most sought-after modern Lincoln pennies. For collectors and investors looking to own a piece of American heritage, this coin is a remarkable and achievable prize. Next up, the 2009 Abraham Lincoln birth and early childhood commemorative coin. This coin commemorates the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth in 1809, specifically highlighting his birth and early childhood years spent in Kentucky. This moment in history is pivotal not just for Lincoln enthusiasts, but for all Americans, as it marks the beginning of a life that would change the nation forever. Minted in 2009, this coin was part of a series authorized by Congress to honor Lincoln's bicentennial, and it quickly became a sought-after piece among collectors. The 2009 Lincoln birth and early childhood coin carries a large date, which is a significant design variation that collectors highly prize. What sets it apart further is the presence of the D-Mint mark, indicating it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the most respected and prolific mints in U.S. history. The Denver Mint has long been known for its quality craftsmanship and the rarity of some of its issues, which adds an extra layer of desirability to this coin. Even in a dirty condition, which means the coin shows signs of handling, oxidation, or environmental effects, its value remains strong, a testament to its historical importance and rarity. Let's talk about the historical context surrounding this coin. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in a one-room log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky. His early years in Kentucky were humble, marked by frontier hardships and a family's struggle to carve out a life on the American frontier. Lincoln's upbringing in Kentucky and later Indiana and Illinois deeply influenced his values, character, and political philosophy. The coin's design pays homage to these formative years, capturing not just the image of Lincoln but the spirit of an era that shaped a great leader. The imagery used on the coin is deliberately chosen to reflect Lincoln's early childhood, featuring symbols that evoke the rural, frontier environment, as well as Lincoln's youthful determination and hope. The mintage of this coin was relatively limited compared to other more common Lincoln commemoratives. Approximately a few 100,000 coins were minted at the Denver facility for this issue, which makes it rare in comparison to everyday circulation coins. Its limited mintage, combined with the bicentennial significance, makes this coin a real gem for collectors who seek coins with deep historical roots and significant symbolism. From a design perspective, the coin is a marvel. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features a detailed portrait of a young Abraham Lincoln, capturing his youthful vigor and optimism. This is a departure from the traditional Lincoln profile seen on pennies and quarters, offering collectors a fresh visual narrative of Lincoln's early years. The large date is prominently displayed, making it easier to identify this specific version. On the reverse side, the coin depicts elements symbolic of Lincoln's early environment: a cabin, a forested backdrop, or other frontier motifs that remind us of the tough conditions Lincoln faced. These design elements are rendered with precision, and the artistry is praised among numismatic experts for its historical accuracy and emotional impact. Collectors also value this coin because of specific errors or variations that occasionally appear. Some specimens have been found with doubled dies or slight variations in the placement of the mint mark, which can significantly increase the coin's value. Such errors are highly sought after because they offer uniqueness and otherwise limited mintage. Even coins with a dirty appearance, meaning they haven't been preserved in pristine condition, can command high prices, especially if they possess these rare errors or come from an early batch with fewer surviving examples. Market interest for this coin remains robust as collectors worldwide seek to own a piece of American history. The demand continues to drive prices up. In today's auction market, a 2009 Lincoln birth and early childhood coin with a large date and D-Mint mark, even in dirty condition, can fetch upwards of $200,000. This is because it not only represents a key historical milestone, but also is considered a limited edition commemorative coin that appeals to both Lincoln collectors and general numismatists. Collectors particularly love this coin for its story. Owning it is like holding a piece of the frontier spirit and Lincoln's humble beginnings. It serves as a physical connection to the man who would grow to lead the nation through its darkest hours and redefine the meaning of American freedom. For many collectors, this coin represents more than money. It's a tribute to legacy, perseverance, and the enduring impact of Abraham Lincoln. Now, moving on to our next coin, The 1960 for Abraham Lincoln large date penny without a mint mark, in circulated fine condition. While this coin might seem more commonplace at first glance, it holds tremendous historical and numismatic significance that makes it stand out in the collector community. The year 1964 was a notable transitional period in U.S. coinage history. This was the final year that Lincoln cents were produced primarily in 95% copper for the switch to the more cost-effective copper-plated zinc coins in 1965. This makes 1960 for Lincoln pennies a pivotal part of coinage history, the end of a copper era that had begun decades earlier. The large date variety of the 1960 for Lincoln penny is especially significant because of its distinct date font, which differs from the smaller date variety also minted that year. Collectors are drawn to these subtle differences as they tell a story of the mint's evolving processes and the transition in coin design. One key detail about the 1960 for penny is the absence of a mint mark, indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia coins traditionally did not bear a mint mark at this time, which helps collectors quickly identify the origin. The lack of a mint mark coupled with the large date variety makes this coin a critical addition to any Lincoln penny collection. The circulated fine condition indicates that the coin has been used in everyday transactions, showing signs of wear, but retaining the major details and overall appeal. While coins in mint or uncirculated condition naturally command higher prices, even circulated specimens of the 1960 for large date penny are highly prized because of their historical context and rarity of specific varieties. The design features of this penny are classic yet iconic. The obverse bears the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Brenner's design was revolutionary for its time, featuring America's first president on a common coin and ushering in a new era of portraiture U.S. currency. The large date on the 1960 for penny is clear and bold, making it an easily recognizable feature for collectors hunting for this particular variation. On the reverse, the coin shows the traditional hui ears, a design that had been in use since 1909 until it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. By 1964, however, the Lincoln Memorial reverse was standard, so this penny actually features the memorial on the back, symbolizing the nation's respect and remembrance for Lincoln's legacy. The mintage figures for the 1960 for Lincoln penny are substantial, but don't detract from the value of certain varieties. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 1.8 billion Lincoln cents in 1964, but the large date variety is scarcer compared to the small date version, making it more desirable. Variations in striking, die errors, and the condition of the coin further influence collector interest. Errors such as double die obverse, doubled mint marks, or slight die cracks can add tremendous value to 1960 for pennies. These error coins are some of the most sought after among numismatists because they combine historical significance with rarity and a unique story behind their production. Even in circulated fine condition, such coins can command premium prices. Due to their collectible status, market interest in the 1960 for large date Lincoln penny without mint mark remains strong, especially in auction circles where collectors compete to add rare varieties to their collections. Despite its everyday appearance, this coin's value has soared, with rare specimens regularly selling for over $20,000, reflecting both the historical importance of the final copper Lincoln pennies and the rarity of the large date variety in decent condition. Collector enthusiasm for this coin stems from its place in history as the last copper penny before a major change in U.S. coinage composition, combined with its association with one of the nation's most revered presidents. Owning this coin is a way to connect with American history, preserving a tangible piece of 20th century numismatic heritage. Next up, the 1967 Abraham Lincoln 1 cent, large date, no mint mark, is a coin that stands out in the world of Lincoln cents for several reasons. To understand its value, we first need to look at its historical context. By 1967, the United States Mint had been producing the Lincoln cent for nearly 6 decades, ever since its introduction in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, featured Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the wheat ears on the reverse until 1958. By 1967, the reverse had already transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had debuted in 1959. The 1967 Lincoln cent is notable because it was produced during a time of change in the U.S. economy and coin production. The nation was experiencing rising inflation, and coin collectors were beginning to notice variations and errors that could affect value drastically. This particular coin, the 1967 large date without a mint mark, holds special collector interest because of its rarity. Normally, Lincoln cents produced at the Denver Mint bear a D mint mark on the obverse, just below the date. However, this specific variety appears without any mint mark at all, which indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the catch. In 1967, Philadelphia Mint Lincoln cents typically did not have mint marks, but what makes this large date variety different is its subtle differences in date size and shape compared to the small date variety. Collectors have long studied these variations closely. The large date is characterized by a bigger, wider 7 in the date, as well as a more pronounced 6. Detecting this variation requires a keen eye or a magnifier, especially when the coin is in dirty condition. The absence of a mint mark combined with the large date design sets this coin apart, making it rarer and more desirable. The mintage numbers for this coin help explain its value. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately to 0.08 billion Lincoln cents in 1967, but the large date variety, especially without a mint mark and in good condition, is far less common. Most coins produced in Philadelphia that year were of the small date variety. The large date without a mint mark exists, but in much smaller numbers, which heightens its rarity and appeal. Design-wise, the obverse shows the familiar Lincoln portrait, facing right, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above and "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln's bust. The date sits on the right side of the coin. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, an American symbol of strength and unity, with the inscriptions "United States of America" on top and 1 cent below, flanked by wheat ears on earlier cents, but replaced here by the memorial. Now, let's talk about condition, which plays a critical role in the coin's value. A dirty condition coin, while not pristine, can still command strong prices due to its rarity and collector demand. In many cases, coins that have surface dirt or toning but retain their key features and are free of major damage or corrosion can attract collectors who want to restore them or add variety to their collections. What drives collector interest in this coin even further is the presence of certain errors and varieties that sometimes occur with these 1967 Lincoln cents. These include double die errors on the obverse or reverse, die cracks, and weak strikes, all of which can dramatically increase the coin's market value. While our featured coin is not specified as having a double die, its rare large date, no mint mark status already places it in a high tier of collectability. Speaking of value, in today's auction market, a 1967 large date no mint mark Lincoln cent in dirty but otherwise solid condition can realistically fetch over $200,000. This might come as a surprise since most Lincoln cents from the 1960s trade for just a few cents or a couple of dollars in circulated condition. However, rarity, demand, and provenance push these exceptional coins into a completely different league. Collectors and investors recognize their scarcity and historical importance, making them willing to pay a premium that far exceeds face value. Notably, coins sold at auction with verified authenticity, proper grading from reputable services like PCGS or NGC, and solid provenance often realize these high prices. The market for rare Lincoln cents has been consistently strong, with these exceptional varieties becoming marquee pieces in many prestigious collections. Collectors ranging from passionate hobbyists to serious investors seek these coins not only for their monetary value, but also for their place in American history. Lincoln cents, especially rare varieties like this, tell a story of innovation, craftsmanship, and national pride that resonates deeply. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!